Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for July 30th. Okay, taking a look at the futures right now, we are gapping up ever so slightly. I definitely did not anticipate. Well, last night when I made the watch list, I did say that the futures were opening up around here under this resistance, and after the watch list it broke out and held above pre-market this morning, and then right out the gates at the morning we had this massive dump. Okay, and then we slowly grinded back up. Now, I definitely did not anticipate this grind up today. However, overall, this action looks pretty bullish as of right now. And today we made, after this big pull in, we got a bounce, and the overall market made a range here, and it looks like it's breaking out of its range right at this 3023 area, and it's holding. Now, once again, we don't know what it's going to do in the pre-market tomorrow, but right now it looks like it's holding. So hopefully I'm just going to make a thesis base on that it will hold. At least this support line will hold, and then we continue to run to the upside. I did nail this exact point here at on the SPY chart. So let's bring in the SPY, right? This 385 area was the bounce and low of day on the SPY, and last night I called 365, so I kind of missed it by 20 cents, right? My point is, though, I mean, it's still looking bullish. Overall, the market looks like it will test this 302 again and eventually break out today. We just had a little pullback day, and it got bought right back up, right? So it's going to grind back up and at least test this 302. So what happens from there? If it breaks out the 302 and starts holding, get long, because it's going to run. Okay, so that's the SPY. However, with the tickers that I'll be watching tomorrow, I don't think it has anything to do with the SPY. Basically, they have their own separate little catalyst. So I think they're going to break away from the action of the SPY. First up, I do want to talk about BYND, where they had earnings after hours, and they also announced a secondary offering. Basically, with that, the stock tanked and did a very hard pull in. Their ER was actually pretty positive, as they came out with a positive end of year for the year guidance. They don't do they don't do quarter to quarter guidance. However, they did raise the year for the year of 2019 guidance, and overall the earnings report, from what they said, it's pretty positive. However, on the negative side, though, they are announcing a secondary offering, hence this pull-in, and investors are now spooked about the dilution of the shares. Now, with the stock being an extreme low floater, the offering is only like about 3 million shares. All right, and I don't think overall it's not supposed to affect the stock very much. However, how Wall Street thinks, basically with every bad news, they tend to shoot first and then think later. Now, I wouldn't say this is an overreaction, though. I definitely do understand. Typically, an offering is kind of more like a desperate move, and I guess that's what's happening here right now. After hours, we do see that the stock is still closing very weak. As you can see, this is the 1 minute chart. And I do expect it to continue to dump right at the open. What's very interesting to me is that I'm looking on the daily chart here. Okay, last time when it had a big pull from the 200 mark, it pulled a few days all the way into the 137.50. Okay, so that's what, $63.50, so $64 roughly. Okay, I mean, in accordance with measured move, for example, I mean, this is just a speculative little pull. This would be the distance of the pole right now that I'll be looking at. So 175 would definitely looks like a clear target if it pulls down tomorrow. The stock does have an average true range of $13.40, sitting right a little bit right at, oh, it's closing at 191. So it can definitely pull to 175 tomorrow with this reaction. Now, can it get down below 175 and keep coming? Very, very possible, right? This is panic mode for a lot of people. And from the looks of things, just let me delete this right now. Let's take a look at where the buyer spot, right? I mean, Beyond Meat had a very tight consolidation area right here. Okay. And then it broke out. And then it broke out and the buyers came in here, okay, at around the 180s area. So probably around here we have major buyers. So they are not panicking yet. And then a little prior to earnings, we have something like this, right? Now this here is interesting to me. Whoever bought the breakout of this little range here, this a couple of days of range, when it broke out the 200 as well as the previous all-time highs, and they probably bought around this day, they are now very much underwater. Okay, so what day is this? This is July 25th. So coming over here, when they bought on this day, specifically this day, okay, I want to see where they pulled profits, and they didn't pull profits much. I mean, maybe here they pulled profits and then they saw that 225 held. They might have added, and it's consolidating tightly. And whoever held into this earnings, they are pretty fucked right now. Looking at this, whoever bought this is definitely underwater from yesterday. And then when it came down this morning and did this massive reversal right at around this 210 area, okay, we see buyers coming in, and I want to bring attention to the 1 minute chart. Okay, so more importantly, right around this area, right, whoever bought this reversal, they didn't really take profits, did they? Right? It ran up. Maybe they took some profits here and then still held some. And looking at this pattern, the buyers, they were pretty friggin' confident going into the earnings. Okay, this is a higher low, right? And now, okay. And now they are pretty much fucked. After, if they haven't sold already, they are now very much in the water. And let's just say their average is around here at this 205 range. Okay. So what I want to see is that at any given pop, whoever bought here around the 205, they will want to get the fuck out. Not because only of this reaction, also because of the offering, and they're panicking. Okay, so any pop is a short to me. I'm looking specifically more at the 200 level and the 205 level right now, right? However, I don't even think it's going to pop because after hours it's sold off so much still, and it's still closing very weak. We are sitting at after hour support here at 191. So I do anticipate pre-market for it to get under this 190. And with that said, I think shorting out of the gates is possible. We do see after hours the 195 kind of became some sort of resistance as well. overall, I think Beyond Meat is a tough trader, just because the float is so damn small, and the way it moves, it's very sporadic on the 1 minute chart. And I was studying these candles. Um, these candles can move. Like for example, this one, not even that much volume. This squeeze candle right here has a range of $5, almost $5. So I mean, how are you gonna trade this with a tight stop? You really can't. A tight stop would be $2 or $3, right? To trade this properly, in my opinion, uh, would you would have to use like a $5 stop to trade it safe, right? With that said, I mean, $5 of risk, and you are looking for a downside of $15, which is about one ATR, which is a 3 to 1. And knowing that the stock can really dump, looking on this day right here, this thing can dump $40. So it can definitely be profitable. However, trading this using a $5 stop, that would definitely hinge on your sizing, and you really need to adjust accordingly. So typically, if you're trading 100 shares, then you might probably, if you're trading 100 shares on like one lot or one tier, right? You would typically risk about 30 to 50 cents, maybe, on one lot. And if you're going to put that into play on Beyond, you might have to reduce your share size by a third, and one lot would probably be like, what, 20 to 30 shares. So a reduce in share size is very important when trading this ticker, just to play it safe, right? I I do think this ticker is very interesting and definitely deserves a watch. The way it's moving right now, it's moving like a friggin' penny stock. Um, I do think the stock is overvalued. Okay, we have on the daily chart some ranges here, right? This 191.75 area is where we're sitting. So a pop back up here, I mean, very defined daily range here at the 200. And then the next level down, we have 175. And then this range, we have 162.50. And then we have the 150. And from the 150, I mean, it's pretty clear and concise, right? So targets are definitely marked with $5 risk. You are looking at a potential about $15 to $20 on the gain side. So size accordingly. I personally will be playing something else. I'll put this on the side to watch, and I might dabble a little bit on the short side here on any given pop, or might even do it out the gates, but very, very small size. So let's get into the main watch list. I like Luckin. Okay, Luckin Coffee IPO, right? I've traded a lot of Luckin during its first week of IPO, and now the stock looks like it's about to. The stock is on breakout. However, it's very overextended. Um, it has no news catalyst. It's basically, to me, more of a sympathy play to prior earnings of Starbucks, right? Starbucks had great earnings, and this is running on sympathy, in my opinion. Overall, the stock has a relative volume of $1.63 and an average true range of $1.25. So this thing has a bigger float as well, and the spread is nice and tight. It's about 1 to 3 pennies the last time I traded it. So I hope nothing's changed right now. And this ticker is, aside from the breakout, it's coming up on air. There is no news, right? With that said, the chart being so overextended, I am expecting some sort of profit take tomorrow. Okay, on the 30-minute chart right now, for the past 3 days, we do see a little uptrend line here, this blue line. Okay, so this blue line needs to hold for it to continue to run. Excuse me right now. Okay, so this blue line is extended from its last consolidation area right here on the daily chart. On the short-term side of things, intraday today, let's zoom back out. Intraday today, we have like a little intraday uptrend, which just snapped, I believe, at the close. Yeah, at the close after hours. So it does look like it's about to take a pull in and a profit take here. This level, this 2650 area, is very key for me to watch. If it can hold 2650 in the pre-market, it looks like a long to me to test this 27. I do like to test a 27 and change for a double top and pull in, just because it's so overextended. And I think it needs to pull back a little, consolidate a few days before the next run. And I guess the main target is to retest 25 and just go sideways a few days along 25. If it stays above 25, it's bullish. My main play I'll be watching for, it's looking like after hours, it's kind of undecided right now. So I'm looking for a pop and drop, 27 double top, short it down. Following the average true range, that would be 26. Okay. If it gaps down tomorrow, then we have concise risk here at this 2645 area, and also watching yesterday's close, so 2658. So very concise risk, short it down. The main support here is 25 though, so this is the main target. I don't know if it can pull all the way down to 25 tomorrow. As you can see today at the open, it dipped on 25, it held, got bought up, and buyers piled in and followed this uptrend line very well, right? However, up until the late day, there is no more buyers up at this $27 mark. So I don't think it's ready to run again tomorrow, being so overextended. I like the short more than I do the long. So the first move I'll be watching is for the short. Okay, so that's LK. OSTK is next. It's literally the same thing as LK in my opinion. OSTK, let's load up some drawings here real quick. OSTK, and sorry, pardon my yawning right now. It's 2:45 in the morning, and it's getting kind of late with the market opening soon too. I need to get some sleep soon. OSTK breaking out today, again on no news, breakout of the 20, and we are reaching a key resistance of $22. Okay, and yes, of course, on the daily chart, we broke out a little bit of the 22, but we got quickly hammered back down. Overall, the stock is a little bit overextended, and I do like it to see a pullback tomorrow. I marked off the highs, so if it does want to test and even break out a little bit, maybe even test the 23 tomorrow before it fails. Gonna watch that. Not gonna want to play this until after price discovery. It's gonna be very sporadic at the open tomorrow. Now, what I notice on the daily chart here is that every time it had a big move, the next day it tends to pull in, right? So, for example, let's take a look at this big move here and with the volume, right? The next day it pulled in, it popped and dropped, right? From here as well, massive volume on this break, and then pop and drop, right here. And then now we have this break, so pop and drop, maybe. This is a breakout of the range, but it's on air, so there is no news. And this 22 is a major resistance from long term as well, so very key area. I like for the pull in tomorrow. And pull it back down. Stock is still in play. Relative volume 2.1, average true range $1.64. The float short is 62.89%, and surprisingly, the stock being as much a piece of shit as it is, it has 65% of institution owned. So don't know why institutions would buy this, but probably this run here is from the Bitcoin run, right? And it looks like the stock is trying to make a rebound back. I highly doubt it's gonna uh, break out and run for another day tomorrow because it's so overextended. So I do like the short side. I'm not saying the long side's not possible. We can see intraday support at 2150 as well as 2125. So if the pull-in does come, be sure to watch out for these support levels to hold it up and make sure you take your profits quickly. Uh, Probably pull down. This is my main target here. This $20.50 is my main target. It's also the 50 MA on the 30-minute chart. So to me, it looks like the stock needs to catch up or needs to wait for this EMA to catch up a little bit on this run. See, as you can see on the run, it follows this 50 EMA pretty well. So I do like to see a pull-in back into this 50 EMA on the 30-minute chart. OSTK, Zoom, the opposite of OSTK. I mean, this thing, very surprising that it dumped the way it did. Now, this is on the daily chart, a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so it does signifies a reversal right now. This area, very key. We tapped it today at the lows around the 92. Let's load up some drawings real quick. Okay, so, oh no, these are old drawings, right? Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so anyways, what I want to talk about on Zoom is this little chart here with SPY, right? Now let's go to the 1 minute as well. So as you can see, Zoom pulled in this morning, pulled in really hard with very large volume. Same thing with SPY, it pulled in. Is that the same time? Around 10 o'clock, 10:15 where it bounced? Yeah, exactly 10:15 where it bounced. So in the beginning, it did follow the SPY, right? When it bounced back up right around 1:30, let's take a look at where the SPY was at 1:30. Right around here at 1:30, SPY started pulling in, and by the time at around 2 o'clock, SPY held flat. However, around 2 o'clock here on Zoom, it diverged from the SPY and just broke down completely. So what I'm looking at right now is this level, okay? This level right here where it broke down and diverged. So there are no buyers coming in, which is interesting. It seems like everybody left on this dump, and this was just a cover pop, and perhaps short sellers are still in the stock. This divergence is interesting to me. Just saying. Okay, with that said, very important to watch for tomorrow is this 95 area, key psychological whole number, as well as a key support on the daily chart. So let's mark that off, 95, right? Okay. Also, I'm looking right now, this 98 area, very key. So watching that. Let's change the color here, 98. Okay, as you can see here today, it did a tweezer top on the 98 and just failed from there. This is basically where it diverged from the SPY, I believe, right here, right at 2 o'clock. Yeah, so at the 98 level, right? With that said, depends on what it does tomorrow at the 95. If it snaps under 95 and hold under 95, I do like the short all the way back down to test this 92. Okay. The average true range is about $5.30. I'm also looking at this right here. Yesterday's closing price. So coming up 97 becomes a nice little area of resistance as well. If it can get back up to test 97 and fail, that would be fantastic. Looking over here on the daily chart, with that said, I mean, if this 95 snaps, because this is where it got bought up, right? I mean, this is where a lot of people bought in once it remounted the 95 and mounted the VWAP. People bought in, and whoever's still holding long from this 95, if 95 fails tomorrow, they're gonna panic, and it's gonna come down hard. So I do like it for the short, for the pop and drop. More specifically, this 97 is a watch, but it's a little bit too close to where the price is right now. I do want to see a pop and drop at around the 98 level. Wait for this 50 MA to catch up to it, and yeah, that's basically it. I mean, 98 you can see very key, right? So I don't think it can get back above 98 with the way it came down so hard today. Not once, but twice. I don't think investors will be gaining a lot of confidence unless it remounts 98 and holds above 98. With that said, I do like the short from 98 if it gives me a chance. And with an average true range of $5 and change from 98 all the way down to 93, 92, definitely doable. And that's basically my watch list for tomorrow. Also watching GRUB for tomorrow morning at the open. They're going to be announcing earnings. So going to be taking a look at that in the pre-market. With that said, that's basically it. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know what you think about my analysis in the comments below. And I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ciao.